So if I had to start from zero, from scratch again, and go to multiple five figures a month, right? This is exactly what I would do. And you can just model this because I've actually done this before. A lot of people talk about it, but they've never done it before. I actually failed for a very, very long time. I was trying to build a business on the side. I took all my savings, I put it in the business. I failed because it took me a long time to get results, right? And then I had $0, pretty much, just a couple $100 in my account. And so I needed to get a job because otherwise I couldn't feed myself, I couldn't pay the rent. So that's what I did. I got my suit out again. I went for interviews. I found a brand new job, but the goal was to always try and make some sort of side income, right? That's everybody's dream, I think, or a lot of people's dream anyway. You don't necessarily want to work for somebody forever, right? But you need a job to keep a roof over your head, to pay the rent, to pay the bills. So that's what I did, right? I sucked up my pride and I did that. But here's what I did. Every single day that I came home from the office, I kept tinkering away at my business, all right? But because I had run out of money, I had to save up for a little while before I had enough capital to kind of restart the business. I hope that makes sense, all right? So you can't build a business with nothing. You hear a lot of people saying, oh, you can, start this with zero. No, you can't, all right? You need tools, you need software, you need traffic, you need the mentorship to be able to do this. So that's what I did. I got mentorship. I got the infrastructure. I got the tools that would support my business to actually build out properly, right? And I saved a lot of money. Instead of buying stupid stuff like a lot of people do, I kept my head down, I worked hard, I got my salary, and I saved as much of that as possible, right? Then I went to the office, came home, took action on my business. Went to the office, came home, took action on my business. It was kind of like a treadmill, right? And I just kept doing that for a long period of time, right? And I had to sacrifice. I had to, not go to so many parties, so many barbecues, but my goal was to eventually make enough money on my own so that I could control my income and never have to worry about getting a salary from anybody else again. Then I could have true freedom. I could do the things I want, travel the world, spend more time with my family, and just enjoy life a little bit more, right? And so that consistency paid off, okay? Going that extra mile, sacrificing, willing to do the work, right? And actually following somebody that had a plan and had proven results, and also not being cheap, okay? Because obviously you need certain tools to help you to build that business. All of a sudden, the business started to work. I started to get traffic. I started to get leads. I started to get conversions, right? And here's the cool thing about building a business online is that once you get views on your content, you can do anything you want. You can promote your own product, somebody else's product. You can, launch something with some joint venture partners. There's so many options, right? But it starts with that consistency and that viewership and the leads that are coming through, okay? And then on the back end, I sold digital products, other people's digital products. That's what really worked for me because I didn't have any expertise to create my own product. And then eventually, my sales was making more than my salary. But I didn't quit my job just yet because I didn't want to make the same mistake, right? So I kept working at it, and eventually my sales went 5 times my corporate salary, and then eventually I quit my corporate job. Okay, so that's how I went from zero back to multiple 5 figures a month. And I think that anybody can do this. I'm not special. I'm just an average guy who had a dream, and I didn't give up. I didn't care what other people said. I just kept going. I didn't care about what my friends, my family, or anybody said, and I just kept doing it, and eventually it finally worked for me. And I think that if you have this same kind of dream, you can do this too. You just have to make sure that you don't give up, that you understand that it takes time, that you need to take action, that it's going to cost a little bit of money. It's not going to cost like, millions of dollars, but yeah, it's going to cost a little bit, right? You need the tools, you need the structure, you need the mentorship. Make sure you respect that and make sure you do it, right? If that's something that you want to do. And so if you want to follow what I did, but you have no idea how to do it or get started, comment follow below, and then go to my channel right here, and I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I did this.